Am I abandoning Swiss luxury watches? Lately, I've been wearing two watches more often than any other watch in my watch case, and there are a couple of reasons for it. I'm a lefty, and therefore I actually shouldn't wear my watches on my right wrist, but in fact I do not. I wear them on my left wrist. Therefore, with everything I do with my main hand, my watches are prone to scratches at some point in time, and I do take care of them, but sometimes I just don't want to think about having to take care of my watch and just want to wear one of my watches. And the other reason is that, besides me being a little bit clumsy at times, is that my lifestyle has changed a little bit. I'm taking care of my health more than I used to, and therefore I see myself going to the gym more often or needing a smartwatch more often than my other watches. And that brings me to one of the watches that I've been wearing a lot in the last couple of weeks, and that's the new Series 10 Apple Watch. I have the smaller of the two Series 10 sizes, and I always picked up the smaller size for one main reason. I prefer the smaller size of the watches on my wrist, and I can use my 20mm Apple Watch adapters with all of my existing 20mm straps that I have, and therefore this watch is easy to style whatever I'm wearing. I can put on a rubber strap like I have here, or I can put on a leather strap, or I can put on a hybrid strap, or I can put on the Milanese strap that this watch came with, and on and on and on. And there's a cool thing about these Apple Watches. 10 years ago, it was introduced, and since then, they did not change the adapter or the attachment of the watch in order for you to use, if you want to, the strap that the Series 1 Apple Watch came with on your Series 10 Apple Watch. And this is cool because this means consistency and gives us as the users of these products the trust that, well, you don't have to buy a bunch of different kinds of straps or additional gear or additional adapters or additional chargers, stuff like that. And I prefer that because, let's be honest, there's enough of these things going on with other products, and I prefer it to be simple. There's one more good thing about these adapters. Well, you can use any existing 20mm watch strap that you have laying around the house that you may have bought for one of your other watches. And if I'm talking about myself, I do have a very, very large collection of 20mm watch straps. As I see myself going to the gym more often, there's one thing that I really liked about the Series 10 update: the better case proportions. The watch now is slimmer and the face or the dial is larger, even on the smaller cases. That has one side effect. It leads to that the watch, in fact, looks a bit bigger on my wrist. But that's not a bad thing per se, because I have access to all the data at one glance. I don't have to check multiple times what time I'm at, what my heart frequency is. It's visually better for me to look at this watch. Therefore, I've been wearing it much more often than my other watches. And there's a second watch that I've been wearing more often due to the same reasons as previously mentioned, and that is the collaboration between Blancpain and Swatch, the Scuba 50 Fathoms Ocean of Storms. I did a video on the whole collaboration. I did already do a video on this particular watch, a review of it. At first, I didn't wear the watch a lot, but due to my circumstances and, well, just wanting to wear a watch but not having to think about it, and needing something that also can get wet and is sturdy and, well, I don't care if it gets scratched or not, but still has a mechanical movement and still has somewhat of credibility ability when it comes to watchmaking. And therefore, the Scuba 50 Fathoms is a perfect fit for that. Yes, it has 42 millimeters in case diameter, but the case proportions are actually way better than the original Blancpain 50 Fathoms. In my opinion, I have a 16.5 centimeter in circumference wrist. It's not the biggest, it's not the thickest, it's not the widest wrist, and I do prefer smaller watches. But this case proportion is ideal with the black version of the Scuba 50 Fathoms because it just feels right. Blancpain already introduced a 42 millimeter 50 Fathoms, which is fantastic, so they did listen to the community, but still I do actually prefer this watch. I like the design, I like how it looks, I like how easy it is, and it has a System 51 Swatch movement in it with 90 hours of power reserve. It's also kind of nicely finished if you consider what they did with the rotor and the custom print that they put on it. It's a fun little watch that does still spark a conversation, and that are the two watches that I've been leaning into more and more on a day-to-day basis. Of course, I'm still wearing my other watches, my Cartier, my Rolex, and the other pieces that I have in my collection, but on a classic Saturday at home with the family, I do actually prefer to wear something like the Blancpain, or, well, on the days that I go to the gym, which are very common these days, I do prefer wearing the Apple Watch, and it's become a great watch in my rotation, and I just like it. This is my current watch rotation. I just wanted to share a little bit of my thought process and the watches I currently wear a lot besides my other watches, or that get more wrist time than usual. And this is something that I want to do a bit more of because these things change a lot. Your life changes, my life changes, and therefore my taste and my preference change too. And currently I need something simple. Something that I don't have to think about a lot, something that is robust and gives me what I need in terms of either watchmaking or functionalities if it's something like the Apple Watch. And that's it. Leave a comment down below. I'd be interested in hearing what watches are in your rotation currently. Maybe also, what do you think about the Apple Watch or smartwatches in general? All the links to the watches will be down below. If you want to watch one of the reviews of the watches mentioned, here are videos for you to check out. And as always, if you feel like it, put a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.